motivate you, I don't know what the fuck will, honestly. I've seen him around the gym for quite some time now. We've never actually sat down and had a conversation, but he doesn't know this. He is one of the biggest motivators in this gym. When I got hurt last year and I tore both of my quads, you don't know this, but you were one of my main factors of motivation of getting my ass back in here, because I felt like I had no fucking excuse. And honestly, I thought he'd be great to put on video, because I've listened to some of your podcast interviews that you've done with other people. The link that you have on your bio, and some of your responses to your questions are so witty, and I was like, yes, he's gonna be great on camera. So just tell people a little bit about your story.
Okay, so for starters, I'm Australian. I moved out to LA because Discovery Channel gave me a contract for a few years to work on Shark Week. So that actually happened because when I was in the Navy back in Australia, I got attacked by a shark. So I did 12 years military service. I started in Army Airborne and then transferred over to Navy clearance divers, which is a little bit like the SEALs. It's not exactly the same, but we do a lot of reconnaissance swimming in the middle of the night on pure oxygen rebreathers using like explosive handheld tools underwater, bomb disposal, mine disposal on land and underwater. So pretty awesome job. And really safe.
And you've never done swimming before that, right?
I've never
That's what I
scuba
read.
dived in
That's
my life.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then like.
So what the hell drove you to get into that? A bet? Did you lose a bet with a friend?
I just wanted to keep achieving, you know, and I felt like I'd reached a peak in the Army as a grunt, and I needed more of a challenge. It wasn't really fulfilling after 4 years, so I thought I'd try something different. I was super comfortable in the water, so I was a competitive swimmer. So I was good in the water, I just never actually scuba dived. So I went from not scuba diving ever in my life to 2 weeks later searching the hulls of warships for bombs. Yeah, so it was really trial by fire. In 2009, I got attacked by a shark, a bull shark. Grabbed me while I was doing counter-terrorism training, took off my hand, ripped out my hamstring, and so I nearly died swimming through a pool of my own blood back to the safety boat.
And do you have people in the water with you?
I had, no, I was the only one in the water, but I had my buddies in the safety boat. So I got back to the boat, they did first aid, kept me alive. I nearly died in the ambulance on the way to hospital, and I was in a coma for 2 days. But eventually, you know, came back to the real world and discovered what had happened in its entirety. That whole hamstring, my leg's gone, so I couldn't feel my leg, I couldn't move it. I knew the hand was gone because I saw that when I was in the water. But you know, I just figured if I could keep my leg, then you know, maybe I can keep this job that I love so much, and life won't change too much. But I just couldn't feel it, I couldn't move it, and after a week we had to have the leg chopped off, which was really hard. You know, it was so terrifying.
Coming to terms with that.
Yeah, exactly. I had this amazing life. You know, I was living at Bondi Beach. I was riding a big black Italian sports bike. I was traveling the world with my mates, shooting guns, blowing stuff up, and jumping out of aircraft. And I was just determined not to let a 10-second incident take all of that away from me when I fought so hard to achieve that life. Because I didn't grow up as a military person. I grew up as a skinny, big-eared, freckle-faced kid that got picked on. So, you know, I had a lot of trials trying to get to this point to learn how to be confident and be a leader and overcome sort of, you know, the own internal words that we tell ourselves to limit us.
So you almost had to practice what you preached.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had to reteach yourself, right?
But it was good in the way that even those hard times when I was growing up were training for what was to come. You never know what's going to happen in your life. So if you just had this privileged life and everything is easy, you're not really prepared for when things go terribly wrong. Whereas, you know, all of those hard times growing up, getting kicked out of home, and you know, I was taking a lot of drugs and working in hospitality and all that stuff. It feels like it was training for this, to teach me that I could overcome more and more adversity no matter what. And so I fought back, you know, it's what we do. Fight back for that life, for that thought that maybe you can go above and beyond your own means, your own limitations, the limitations that other people in the world puts on top of you, and just, I decided to fight. And it just got better and better and better, and it was really fucking hard, obviously, not having a leg, not having a hand.
You weren't always the person that you are right now.
No, absolutely. I will not accept that life is just going to be shit.
I think what's really important that he said was he didn't let a 10-second incident determine the rest of his fucking life. And a lot of us, if something bad happens in the morning, it ruins our entire day.
Yeah.
It can ruin our entire week. Like, we get into a funk, right? And not to equate a funk into what happened to Paul, but he took this 10-second incident and changed his entire life.
I wouldn't go back and change it anymore.
It's safe to say that if the 10-second incident didn't occur, you may not be here in LA. You might not be doing Discovery Channel stuff and teaching. He's now teaching.
I traveled the world. I just opened a 3-day Snapchat conference to a standing ovation. I just completed my parachute course and parachuted into the ocean for a Shark Week show. I got one hand and one leg. I'm parachuting into the ocean. This is exactly what you were saying, trying to live by the example, showing people that no matter what goes wrong, no matter how old you are, how young you are, the limitations you have, do whatever the hell you want. You know, with the right tools, with the right mindset, anything is achievable. And also that support, giving that back as well. You know, not being all about me, what do I want to do, but giving that support to someone else. Being a client here, someone to lean on for a little bit, just, you know, handshake, a well done, great job, you know.
Because you've been there when you needed it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and that can change your whole day, your whole week, or your whole outlook on life, and for someone else. So just being a bit kinder, being a bit more generous with your time. And,
so do you guys see why I wanted him on the channel? We're going to do a little back workout. You're going to lead the workout.
Sure.
This is your workout.
All right. I like to do a lot of unilateral stuff because of the imbalance of my arm and the fact that I can't totally straighten it. It has to remain slightly perpetually bent to hold the prosthetic on.
Oh, that's right, because it's holding on to the elbow.
Yeah, and then there's different sort of lever lengths, which means the weight is, even if they're both different dumbbells, on this arm, it's going to be a little bit heavier because the lever is longer. And I don't have all those forearm muscles to hold it and balance it.
It is way harder to go from that to that. One more. Come on. I got this.
Sometimes you go, I'm just going to fall off. I literally does though.
How many sets of prosthetics have you had?
I've got 2 weightlifting ones. This is the pulling one.
Okay.
And then I've got the pushing one as well.
Oh, okay.
The difference is just simply, the pulling one I need it to anchor so I can pull heavy weights. So there's this, the silicone liner that rolls on first and fills up with sweat. It's kind of gross, but so I roll that on.
Dry it off, roll it on.
Roll it on. Then it's got a locking pin on the end. So just to start with, that's holding on. So the pin locks into there. So then it's holding on.
Got it. And then I've got just like a safety.
That as well, yeah. So it's a 3-pronged attachment. And I can do chin-ups with 45-pound plates and it doesn't come off. As your joints get a little older, I slipped over in the shower a few months ago. Showering on one leg is very dangerous.
I can imagine.
And so I caught my whole body on the railing and just kind of pulled a tendon. So trying to work through managing that just means you keep the time under tension longer and you just go a little bit lighter.
Okay.
So it's probably more painful because you're holding it.
Oh, and you're alternating. Okay.
It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity.
Oh, now he's just showing off. As if those pull-ups were hard enough.
People come to the gym and they think they need to be all serious and need to follow rules, and it's supposed to be fun. This is like an adult's jungle gym.
True.
Try new shit, have fun. Like,
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be a work, it's supposed to be something you do because you love it.
And it's so funny, that's a very different mentality than what I'm used to, because my husband, this is what he does for a living, so when he comes in here, he's like,
100%
serious,
zero in
this
there.
is, like, there's no fucking around, this is work.
Yeah.
Because this is technically his job, right? So it's refreshing to train with someone that this is fun for you.
Yeah,
This is fun. And even
absolutely.
though I know it's fun for Brad, he just shows it.
It's a different- yeah.
It's a different type of fun.
Different type of fun,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, let's try these one-handed things here.
This is an amazing one for girls as well, because generally speaking, girls don't have that crazy upper body strength to be able to do chin-ups.
That's true.
So you do them one-handed, assisted, and then like you feel like you're getting the numbers up, you feel like you're doing pull-ups, but you're doing it with one freaking hand. And over time, you can incrementally take that weight off to the point where one day you're going to pop into the gym like a freaking badass and just start popping out one-arm chin-ups. And everyone's going to be like, who the fuck is this?
Funny thing is that when I'm prepping for a show and I'm about 20 pounds lighter than this, when I'm like super lean, I bust out pull-ups like no problem.
Yeah.
But my off-season fluff does not allow me. The 20 pounds added, I'm like struggling at 4.
In the Navy, we have to do 20 before every meal, 2 occasions. If you don't get that 20, it's all full
You don't get
extension.
fed.
If you don't get that 20, say you get 18, you got to go to the back of the line and double it. So then if you get 16, you got to do another 8 until around till you get that 20. You do it before every meal. So you just get so good at it.
Yeah.
That's because we're going to drag ourselves up the side of boats and stuff. Dive
You need that,
material.
yeah.
So yeah.
So guys, this is Erin. Yes, ladies, Paul is taken by this beautiful, beautiful woman.
Super sweaty and salty.
Yes, that's the best. So Erin is a instructor at F45. She does personal training, one-on-one stuff too. I'm assuming, right? Yeah, she does it all clearly. So we are gonna do an episode with her as well, where hopefully we get approval from F45, and she's gonna put me through an entire workout. I want to showcase people and their different styles of training, because it's not all just meathead bodybuilders in here. Everyone thinks that. They think that this is like bodybuilding, and she competes, but she has just a different style of training, and she's really, really intense with it. So I may have to step up my cardio game before I train with her, but yeah. Just start implementing burpees. I was just saying right before the camera turned on that there's times where I'm like super dragging ass in here, my energy is not all there, and I'm training biceps, and I look over this one and she's like doing burpees with like crazy dumbbells. The variations that she does with push-ups is beyond me.
We're gonna go do some bent over rows and then Australian chin-ups. I didn't even know they were called Australian chin-ups until I saw them.
And what are those? Like,
It's basically like a laying down row underneath the bar.
oh, okay.
So.
During the books is the second greatest story I've told. The first is most of that shit. 675 episodes. I haven't watched all of those.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck these kill!
I would say the top 3 shows.
If you want to go, right.
Those aren't that bad alone, but after
Yeah.
And we're not even going heavy.
Oh, this isn't the way that I always train.
Okay.
But for me, like we were talking about earlier, it's like an emotional and mental release. It's fun. It is work, but it's fun at the same time.
Yeah.
And I do it. I think you should train specifically for what it is that you want to get out of it.
Right.
So for me, running around the world, jumping in and out of boats, scuba diving, looking good on stage when I go and present stuff, you have to lead by example. So I can't get up on stage and talk about motivation and happiness and fitness and all that stuff and look like a bag of shit. It's not leading by example.
Right, right.
And so that's what I do it for. I do it for functionality. I also do strength. Like I'll rock up and I'll do a heavy day occasionally just to.
Do you come in with a plan, or is it
no plan?
You come in and you're like, no, fuck it, let's see what kind of mood I'm in? Okay.
Yeah. So I'll do not 100% all the time, but generally speaking, I'll come in and I'll do either chest and abs or chest and back.
Okay.
And then the next day might be back, and then I'll do legs, and then I'll do shoulders, and I'll do arms, and I'll do legs again.
Okay.
And with abs worked in through 1 out of every 2 days, then I'll have a day off. And even the day off is like, we go hiking and do something active.
You do it. Let's see. Just hold that.
But honestly, like, the whole thing is that
If you have the grip, if you have the strength in your grip to do a double overhand, you can always.
Go. Does it bother you when you catch me staring?
It used to a lot in the early days. So I was living at Bondi when it first happened, and it's like a tourist mecca. So the only place I could practice walking again, like on my cane or my crutches, was down on the boardwalk, and it got too much for me. There was too many people, too many stairs. So I moved away, and I kind of built up to it gradually. For a long time, I would look at the trees, I would look at the grass, I'm looking where I'm going, trying not to trip over. Slowly, I got more comfortable with it over time. You have to be patient. Patience and perseverance are two of the biggest lessons that I've gathered over the years. You can't expect too much for yourself, but that doesn't mean that you don't push as hard as hell. But be patient. It's not going to come all at once. I'm not going to learn to do weighted chin-ups all at once. Just take it easy on yourself, but you still never stop trying and pushing.
Right.
I'm like anyone else. I have good days and I have bad days. Sometimes people are really rude. And so people come up to me and just look at me right in my face and go, "What happened to your leg?"
Oh my god.
And so I reply with, "What happened to your fucking nails?"
That's exactly how I would respond.
Yeah, but sometimes people are really sweet about it and really nice, and they're just like, they're curious. I got a big black robot arm, I got the robot leg. If I saw that walking down the street, I'd be curious as well.
Right.
I think Erin gets more pissed off than I do.
Oh, I'm the same way. I'm the same. Obviously not the same, but Brad is a big dude, so whenever we're walking through public and people are staring at him, I get so fired up. What the fuck are you looking at? And Brad's like, "It's fine. Like, I'm used to it. Like, don't worry about it." But I get super fired up because it's our loved ones, and we don't want them feeling a certain way or people being disrespectful. So
yeah, the best thing I started doing was not trying to hide away from the stairs. Instead of being like, oh shit, people are staring at me.
Right.
Hold your head up high, put your shoulders back, walk with purpose, and if they look, smile at them.
Right.
Sometimes I would just change the whole dynamic of the situation. Just smile and say, "G'day, how you going?"
Have you ever thought about getting a shirt made? Of saying what happened to you?
Yeah. It's like the ones in Thailand. No, I don't want a tuk-tuk. No, I don't want a massage. No, I don't want a ping pong show. Yes, it was a shark. No, I don't want to talk about it. Yes, I am a cyborg.
That's it. I'm serious. You should totally come out with a shirt. Yes, it was a shark.
People think I'm taking the piss sometimes. Like, they hear the Australian accent, I say it's a shark, and they're like, no, but really.
Right, no, really, what happened to you?
I like doing what you do sometimes. You just say, you don't really count.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I love doing that sometimes when maybe you're doing seated curls with dumbbells, and I'll do like the holding ones like I do with the back, and I'll hold one up and I'll do that. Then if you hit 6 or 7 or whatever, and you get fatigued, you can't hold up anymore, then you just drop it down and you keep going like that. But you can't do that anymore. So you swing it a little bit. It doesn't matter, you're just getting out reps.
Honestly, I think that's why I'm such a shitty bodybuilder. Because I love changing my style of training up so often. So if I'm not here, I like going to Deuce, the CrossFit gym. Or I like to go outside and like go do the Santa Monica stairs or run on the beach. And so I don't have like a set regimen.
But maybe you're not where you would want to be bodybuilding, but you're far exceeding what you would want to be in life.
Right.
Like your overall fitness and your health is incredible.
Right.
And that's generally the main thing.
This is therapy.
Yeah.
This is like I want it to be fun.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
sometimes when you're prepping for a show, it's not as fun.
I can't even imagine. I was doing an acting role in Australia end of last year, and I'd never acted before, so I'm like in a full Steve Irwin and just like bring it down. So my second day acting ever, I had to do a full nude Magic Mike strip show on stage, 30 screaming extras, the whole camera crew everywhere. I can't dance. I'm in fatigues, I gotta rip them off, and
my
like
God.
it's the robot legs are surprised, all the girls stop, and like, I'm nude on stage with all my limbs out, terrified, I'm shaking, and I had to do it 10 times. I gave myself a G-string rope burn from pulling my G-string off so many times.
You didn't have like a shot of vodka before doing this?
No. But I was prepping for I don't know how to prep properly because I've never done a show, but I didn't drink water for like a day, and I was eating salads all the time, and I got pretty
Sounds about right.
I got some pretty good abs. I was pretty impressed. Getting outside that comfort zone. They said to me in the early days, "You realise there's going to be like a nude scene," and
you didn't realize it was that.
It's just an idea. Like,
right.
Whatever. Yeah, sure, no worries. And then the second day you turn up and you're like, there's girls covering you with coconut oil, and you're about to rip your own G-string off in front of a crowd. But I will get to tell that story forever. And it's hilarious and it's fun and it's a challenge.
And he still has a scar from where he was ripping.
But that's the thing about scary things and overcoming those challenges where maybe you don't think you can do it. Do it, and then you have that story to tell for the rest of your life. No one tells a story about staying home and doing housework.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. I think also what's really important is you physically putting yourself in uncomfortable situations where it forces you to grow, so that when out of the norm things come out of left field that you're unexpecting and it puts you in an uncomfortable position, you almost know how to handle it better because you put yourself in that uncomfortable position before. So anything that's thrown at you at that point, you know how to handle it a little bit better.
So true.
Yeah, instead of people who never step out of their comfort zone, when something drastic happens, they fucking freak out and they don't know what to do because they've never put themselves in a situation like that. So, amateur night, you can find this guy
at the local strip club, swinging off a pole. Learn how to go outside the norm with training as well. Like you get goes like the full spectrum, like a cross section of life in LA.
Yeah.
You get the old people, the overweight people, the skinny people, the bodybuilders, and every walk of life.
That's very true.
And you get to see, especially some of these bodybuilders and the trainers like Charles Class, and you see Arnold come in, and you see the way that they sort of mix up, like they don't use a machine traditionally. They'll, because life isn't a traditional workout, is it? So you get to put your body in different positions and pull a different angle, and it keeps it interesting as well.
Right.
And a lot of people wouldn't do that back in Australia because it's outside the norm. People don't want to be judged for getting outside the norm. But coming here was taught me get way outside the norm.
This is like where outside of the norm is born.
Yeah.
If anything.
So before I had prosthetics, I would use this. I could put that loop around there, and I could rest a dumbbell in it, and I could do curls. Or I could put it up in the cables and do flies.
I've seen those, or something similar. They're called the isolators. Have you ever seen them? But
around the elbows. I saw
straps
this
here.
with Bailey's on the wall.
That's exactly what I saw, and I was like, that is genius.
Especially if you don't have a hand.
Right. If I ever lose a hand, I'm definitely buying those. But no, it seemed like
It takes the bicep out of it.
know that you were going to be using your experience as a teaching moment?
Not even a thought in my brain. All I wanted to do was go back to work. Fear is a powerful motivator.
Yeah.
And you can let it crush you or you can let it motivate you. And I was so scared of losing my career because I didn't have anything else. I didn't go to college, I flunked high school, I didn't have anything to fall back on. So if I lost my career, I didn't know I would have lost that, all my value and purpose. You know, and after the things that I'd done, peacekeeping with the UN and the parachute, all this crazy stuff, I would never be happy in a normal life. And so I used that fear to motivate me to start training. Like 2 days after I had my leg chopped off, I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't go to the toilet by myself, but there was one of these above my bed to help me pull myself up. And so I use that, and I do like one arm pull-ups.
So you were
like this.
training
I was
2 days
training
after.
2 days after. And my buddies came in and they brought TheraBands, and we tied the TheraBands to the bars around the bed so I could train before I could go to the toilet. And that was it, like incremental goals and challenges, because getting back to work was, you know, it's too big, it's too impossible. But I could control what I'm doing now. I could control what my brain's thinking now. I can control the spare time that I have laying in this bed, and I can wallow, or I can get onto my laptop and look on Google and look at prosthetics, or I can look at YouTube videos of Paralympic athletes and learn how they're doing it and use their lessons in my life. And so after 9 weeks I got out of hospital. 3 months to the day I was back in the water trying to surf on one leg, and 6 months after the shark attack I went back to work as a Navy diving instructor.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I did that for 3 years. I was teaching people to do something that I loved without ever getting to do it myself. Even though I'd re-qualified and all that, I needed more growth. And I was terrified of leaving the military because that was my security blanket, that was my paycheck. And so I started speaking a little bit. The only thing I was more afraid of than sharks was public speaking. And so a cancer camp for kids asked me to speak, and I'd been turning down businesses because I didn't want to speak, but you can't say no to kids with cancer.
Right.
And so I went along and did it, and I went in terrified of these 20 kids with cancer. I was scared of them.
Yeah.
And I walked out on top of the world.
Then you knew that moment.
Yeah, I knew that I could do it, and I went from those 30 kids to 1,200 kids at my old school, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger to the point when I was making my 2 weeks Navy wage in 1 hour. Now I make 5 times that amount. Every single time I do it, I can walk in there in a terrible mood, maybe I haven't slept well or I'm not feeling good. I walk off of that stage on top of the world every single time, and I feel so good, and I'm on a high, and I've made women cry, I've made men cry, I've made them piss themselves laughing. I've had 58 people pass out because of the surgery photos. 55 men, only 3 women.
That's right. That's right.
I never planned on using this to inspire anyone. I just wanted to get back to work. The poignant thing about that is just by doing that, I was inspiring people.
Right.
You know, I turn up to work with my robot leg, with no robot hand, and I'm doing push-ups with all trainees. And I'm doing 200 push-ups, 300 push-ups with all of them. And that's inspiring my workmates to train harder. It's inspiring the trainees to be better because they've got no excuse. And all I wanted to do was keep my job.
Right.